Hello, everyone. I'm Antoine Hunter, also known as PurpleFireCrow. I am your host. Welcome to Deaf Woke. Now, of course, it's still Black History Month, right? Yes. And we're feeling the richness of the history that just surround us. And some people only think that, Black History Month is only one specific time of the year when it's not the case. It is 365 days a year. So there's different ways that we can show off our Black history in really meaningful ways, that really gets excited and feeling connected to the culture. And oftentimes those are things we never get to hear. So here at Deaf Woke, we're here to show you all that and embody that. Now, it doesn't matter if you're Black disabled, Black able-bodied, Black hearing, Black indigenous. There's different ways that people show up. And so before we go ahead and start, I'm going to go ahead and give a visual description of myself. I'm a dark milk chocolate skinned man, right? Beautiful. I have ebony locks, about 3 foot in length. I do have a beard. I'm wearing a black shirt with yellow text that says #DeafWoke. My background is red, and I am currently situated in Oakland, California, and also home to the Ohlone tribe. I'm deaf as well, and I love it. Now, before we go ahead, I would love to introduce some of our two fabulous interpreters for the evening. Can you two please show yourselves on the screen right now? So I just want to say thank you to Rodney, as well as thank you to Gloshanda. Thank the two of you for supporting us in interpreting services tonight. So the date is February 15, 2022, and I hope you all had a great Valentine's Day yesterday. Now, you don't have to have a specific significant other, that would be great if you did, but it's more important that you loved yourself that day. You took care of yourself, took care of your being. Did you? Because that's what Valentine's Day really means. Taking care of yourself, your family, and who you are. So I'm really, really excited about our guests for today. I'm happy to welcome this amazing person, and their name is Erin W Phillips. And this is her name sign that she uses. She is well known by the name of DM3 in the gaming communities. Now, I'm going to explain how she got that name, but usually we feel like, life isn't the same for everyone, and she wanted to change that and flip it, right? And so she flipped her initials. So her mother is the one that taught her that. And really is also mentioned that she's a really, well-known video gamer, traveler, artist. and also a creative content maker. But one thing I recognize that we have in common is that we both like video games. Now, you're probably wondering, what about video games? Well, I'm going to show you a video before she comes on screen. A quick warning for our audience today. Some of the contents that you might see in the video will show depictions of violence. So there will be some shooting and guns, a little bit of gore, so probably not too good for the younger audience to see. So if you're a younger person, please make sure you have the permission of your parents to watch this next clip. And if violence is not your thing, I would say hold off for 2 minutes from watching this, but check back in with us afterwards. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and show this video clip of the video game.
Cash money.
That's a kill.
Run, Carl. Survive.
Sighted. Ain't got time to rest.
Take cover.
Move. That's your targets.
I have sighted.
Soldier incoming.
He's incoming. Now go get him.
Oh, my clown.
That's a kill.
God, no.
Drop it.
Turn the left.
Neutralized. Get your ass back in the game. You ain't got.
All right. Please welcome Erin.
Hello.
Wow. That was amazing. I've never seen something like that in video game.
It's not easy because you have to rely a lot on hearing, and I'm deaf, so I have to really pay attention to the environment. And also, I have like a small map on the top of the screen, but it's oriented in the opposite direction of what we see. So I have to really watch the screen.
Wow. That's really wonderful. But first, I want to say welcome to Deaf Woke.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to be here and get to know more about me.
Yeah. So where are you from?
I'm from Texas. And don't hate on Texas, okay?
No hater over here.
My name is Erin. This is my sign name. I also go by DM3. That's my gaming name.
Now, why DM3?
It's kind of interesting. So typically we create different gaming names and play with them, right? When I was in high school, I had a friend that put my name as EWP, which was the flip of that is DM3. So I've been using DM3 ever since.
Okay, I see it. And I also see that your gear you had on as well. You had a number 3 on your shirt.
Yeah, when I was a basketball player, I used to have the number 3. So it also goes with my sign name too.
I did not even pick that up. Wow. Okay, that's nice. You incorporate that. So in Texas, what was it like growing up there? Were you part of like more of the hearing world? Were you in the deaf world?
Yep, I grew up in a hearing family. And of course, that meant I was in the hearing world. Luckily, my mom did take sign language classes, and she's also an interpreter. So she taught me how to sign. I had signed all my life.
Wow. Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah, oftentimes deaf people don't have anyone that sign in their homes, so that's really great that you had that.
Yeah, and it's odd because I grew up thinking my experience was normal. Parents sign, and that's normal until I had a friend who came over and was surprised that my mom could sign. And my friend said, "My mom doesn't sign." And that just really flipped my world. I never thought that there were parents out there who didn't sign to communicate with their child. So I'm lucky to have my mom.
Yeah, especially for her to be an interpreter and to, be such a leader like that. I'm sure, to think how can there be any other way?
Yes. And, you know, in the past, my mom didn't know anything about deaf culture, deaf education. What is that? And so when she had a deaf child, of course, the doctors recommended cochlear implants for me. And my mom felt, maybe that's not the best route. I want to consider other options. And that's when she learned about sign language. She learned to sign. She taught me how to sign. And deaf folks are often behind in education, but I wasn't because I was also learning in school and at home. My mom labeled everything, finger spelled the words. So obviously, I learned how to finger spell those words over and over again.
Well, go mom. That's awesome. A great mom. And I can see how that reflects in you as a woman today.
Yeah.
So to be in a hearing world, and also having deaf friends who had opposite experiences. I'm curious, did you go to school for a deaf?
Yes. I went to Louisiana School for the Deaf, actually.
Okay.
So I grew up mainstream in a deaf program. And when I reached high school, my mom said, okay, I'll allow you to go to the deaf school and graduate from there.
Wow. So you were just involved in both communities.
Yeah, and it was easy for me to be in the deaf world and hearing world with no problem.
I like that. Like I said, yeah, no problem. It was they're both there. And so oftentimes most people who say that, their parents don't sign have an opposite experience in terms of where they're allowed to go to school. So that's really cool that you had something different. And bringing you to the show today and seeing the video game. What's the type of video game again? And but how did you get into it?
Really, it started when I was young. Back in the day, TV didn't really have captions, right? So I needed something to keep me busy. I would play video games and learn how to play, and I felt integrated in that video game world. And ever since then, I just kept playing.
What was the first game system you had?
Okay, I had the old Nintendo. That was my first game system. And so I enjoy that system. It's like the old cartridges that you put into the game box. And that game was Super Super Mario
Pro.
Brothers, Super Pro Brothers.
Yes. I remember Luigi, you had to chase the king.
Yep, Luigi, Mario, the prince, Save the Princess from
What was
Clan.
it? Devil alligator. Is it Rorbra or something like that? Yeah, so similar to me. I'm a little bit older than you though, so I'm more familiar of Atari. Had the game switch, um, that we had to move.
You play ping pong?
Yes,
I
yes.
played that too.
Wow. So okay, I don't feel that old anymore since you remember that. That's good. Um, but yeah, video games can be really stimulating and good for the mind. And how do the games make you feel?
I mean, there's so many benefits to gaming that people don't realize, like cognitive skills, memory, processing. Doctors would do experiments on old people who have dementia, and they'll play video games with them, and they notice that their memory improves. So
Yeah.
video games have benefits. People who have anxiety,
Mhm.
depression, video games help with that too. I'm not sure how it works exactly, but those are some benefits to playing video games.
And what are those personal benefits for you, though?
Oh, for me, it's a stress reliever. The world is so busy, right? And so video games is my time to meditate and to de-stress.
Yeah, I would say for me, it helped with teamwork and connection. Especially when you have those two-player games.
Oh yeah.
Do you like playing solo or playing with a team?
I like both. Some games require single player, but I like both. And I like to play online with friends. So when I'm playing with friends, I use video conferencing to be able to chat with them and communicate where to go, what to do. For deaf, it's a lot easier for us because the hearing people, they use headsets and they talk to each other. But for deaf, we have to sign to each other, and that's a challenge.
Yeah, it's kind of different from back in the day. It was almost like all just either you by yourself in a room and or had to have the other person in the room with you to play. So that's an interesting point. Um, and I know that with the game systems, there was different types of controllers, compared to my day. So this one that I have here is what I prefer. But there are also folks that have a keyboard. So which do you like?
Listen, I haven't played with a PC yet. I prefer the controller, honestly, because the keyboard with the mouse, whew, that's a challenge. I have to really practice to become skilled at that. The controller, so easy.
Right. Yeah, and I didn't realize, how hard it was to actually maneuver the mouse and the keyboard.
Oddly, though, the mouse has better aim than the controller because with the controller, you have to use your thumbs to aim.
Yeah, I remember one button. There was one button on the old Atari back then, and now there's so many.
Yeah, now we have the plus sign, the X sign. Let me just show you what I have here. And then you have this buttons on the top. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I'll just be pushing everything.
Look, fighting games, you play just like that. It's a repetitive motion. That's all you do.
I guess, what does your whole setup look like when you're playing games in your room? Like what gets you going? What gets you, in that space?
I have to have my TV in the corner. And then I use my iPad for team communication. So I have the iPad screen set up under the TV screen so I can look up and down easily. I have everything set up in my space. When I get tired, I take a break, drink something, then I come back and hit it again.
So it seems like you're pretty good at it, right? Pretty good playing video games.
It took practice. A lot of people ask me, how did you become so skilled? And honestly, I just practice every day. Back when I started, I was not this adept, but after all this time practicing, I got better.
Have you been involved in any competitions before? Like what, if you have?
Yes, and they are tough. Like Rainbow Six, that's one of the popular games for the FPS. So you have shooting, then you have crowds that come up to you. So that's Rainbow Six Siege. Then you move up in a tournament and you're competing against hearing people. So my team is 5 players that are all deaf, and we're competing against 5 teams that are all hearing. And sometimes they just destroy us like in the blink of an eye, and it happens so fast.
Wow.
So I learned from that experience to listen, going quickly. Um, it was a good experience, and I kept in mind what I need to do to be better next time. I practiced, and then I set ourselves up to be ready because everything happens so quickly
So,
in that game.
so in the group of five deaf video gamers, do you guys have a name for your group?
Yep, we call Deaf Gamers Network. So if you're ever lonely and you feel like you need friends to play with, you can join us on PlayStation, Xbox, PC. Anyone that's interested in playing that game, you can ask us to friend you on the game, and then you can join us. So a lot of my friends that I have, I met there, and they're a really cool group of people.
Wow, no, that's really great to not have to feel lonely. So I never even thought about that. No, I know that sometimes, there's probably one or two other folks that are really in the gaming world, but I didn't realize how big it was.
Yes, there are a lot of deaf people in the gaming world. So if you go on Facebook and type Deaf Gamers Network, you'll see us there. A lot of us are there.
Oh, I'll definitely be there. N- But wow. So, I was reading a book about electronic gaming and, learning about coding and who designed the game and realized anyone could really do it.
We have informer information. We have subscribers that are monthly. If you want to know what games are coming out, the design of the game, you can read up on that. But they don't really have content that they put out for deaf people about what they're doing. So we're really breaking the mold by having deaf gamers, and we're trying to get them to make it more accessible and recognize that we are here.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like that part is missing. Where we are missing a lot of that, where we are represented in the gaming world, especially when it comes to design. Like, no one's really asking deaf people what do they want in games. So, what would you want?
I want more accessibility for sure. For example, when you have an enemy that you're shooting, they know where you are based on the sounds that you're making, like when you're talking, communicating. So I would like to see a change in the kind of access. And when there are changes, like, wow, finally, after all this time,
Yeah, I agree. And so, I was definitely going to ask you what would accessibility look like, but those signals that show who's speaking in what direction definitely would be helpful.
so maybe like, for example, with Rainbow Six Siege, we can have like a ping, or it'll tell you where the person is at through a point or a camera or a scan. Also, I mentioned earlier about like a red light or a white light that could blink. So with Rainbow Siege 6, for example, there's no map. So we need to ping each other to communicate like, hey, there's a person over there.
Oh, now for me, I fell in love with this game again because it had captions,
Yes,
right?
finally. After so much time, like all these years later, and they finally set up the captions.
Yes. I remember there was one game that I saw the captions and I was just so, astonished with it. And even when it came to like footsteps, it was telling you that someone's walking up. I mean, that you freaked me out 'cause, like, where is this person coming from? Um, but it was Gears of Gears of War that I was playing. And I think my favorite one you had mentioned it. Yours was what, Rainbow Six Siege?
Yep, Rainbow Six.
Yeah, I remember there was like four people together that game that I remember for playing one time.
Yep, in Rainbow Six, you need up to 5 players, but it requires a lot of teamwork, clear communication. If
Mhm.
you misunderstand the cues, you are going down in this game. So you have to communicate clearly with your team.
And I guess some people would want to know, what is your favorite gaming system that you use?
Well, right now I play on the PlayStation 4.
PS4, PlayStation 4. Okay.
Yeah, so they had the first, second, third, and now the fourth, and recently the fifth just came out last year, I think.
What's the difference with the fifth one?
The game is bigger, the size is bigger, it's more smooth. The graphics are more clear and more improved. So I plan to continue to build my own PC game instead of getting the PlayStation 5. So I have a few more ports left to build and then it'll be finished.
So why are you making your own game? What's the difference there?
So building your own PC is cheaper than buying one that's already built. And it's nice. You can put whatever parts you want in there and build it the way you want. It's like a fun project for me because I like building things.
Yeah, I saw something you had mentioned that not just video games, but you like doing things with your hands in general. So you're really a hands-on artsy person.
Yes, I'm so hands on. I like to do arts, I like to paint, photography, traveling. I enjoy the arts in general. I think they're just beautiful. Arts anywhere.
Yeah, and you mentioned photography and travel, but where have we traveled?
Usually within the US. One day I do want to go out of the country.
You haven't yet?
Well, I went to Mexico. That's the only place. But I want to get international more. That's my dream is to go to Japan because they have so much technology, so much innovation with gaming and anime. I'm an anime fanatic.
Do you have a favorite anime you watch?
I grew up watching Naruto,
Yes.
and this is how I sign it.
Hokage, yeah. What's your sign you say?
Yep, this one.
Really the sign? Oh, I never knew that.
Because they're always making clones.
Yeah.
So that's why I made this sign name.
So yeah, I know we're switching topics, talk about anime now, and talk about Naruto.
Yep, Naruto.
Um, and this young person, to bring everyone in context, this young person has the ability to clone themselves into multiple person themselves. But they're also ostracized from their community, and so I feel like that's something that the deaf community can relate in, being rejected and not being felt included. So that's a show I would encourage you all to watch. I grew up watching it myself. And just excited to see how the new generation takes it on.
Yes, the new generation should definitely watch.
Yeah, it's a wonderful show. And this one shows the characters don't usually die off, and so they usually last throughout the season. So which was something I really enjoyed with it. But yeah, I guess we're more family than we thought. We like the same stuff.
Yes.
Also another one is One Piece.
Oh, that show has over 1,000 episodes. It is so hard to catch up if you fall behind.
Yeah, definitely. It took me a minute.
Yes, I'm still catching up. But then life pulls me away, and I'm like, no, I gotta keep watching. I gotta watch these episodes.
Yeah, that is true. I'm also someone who really likes the arts. But are any of your family members into what you're into, like video games too?
My brother, but he's more into sports games like football, basketball, UFC, fighting, those type of games. They have games for those, and that's his thing. Nah, it's not for me though.
So you're more of a guns type person.
Yes, but I also like storyline and figuring those out. I typically buy games that have woman characters as the main characters.
Okay. Tell me more about that.
I want to buy a game that makes me feel like I'm included. Back in the day, they didn't have games like that. And so often when I'm playing a fighting game, I would look for a woman character, and typically is the weakest fighter in the game selection. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I want strong women. But if you want to become strong, you have to fight with immense help. you know. So I'm like, okay, come on, let's get
Yeah,
better at this.
I definitely agree. I remember back in the day, when it came to the black characters, they were just big and slow, and I'm like, can we do more like or have more options?
Hmm.
So
Yeah, but now there's a lot more variety, more diversity, which is good.
yeah, I agree that that's definitely a good thing. Um, I remember, playing Street Fighter.
Yes, Mortal Kombat too.
Yep,
Hmm.
yep. Yeah, I would oftentimes pick the women characters in the game because they usually were a lot stronger. Um, and for people watching, there's nothing wrong with you selecting a woman character to play with. Go ahead and choose a woman. That's okay.
Yes, nothing wrong with it.
And I was going to say, in terms of having diversity in the characters with women and BIPOC and accessibility, it's something that we're starting to see more of.
Yes, I'm seeing more and more Black characters in video games. Finally, I feel like someone that's like me.
Yeah. Any specific characters or games?
Yeah, there's a Black woman character named Okran, and she lost her inheritance or lost her legacy, and that's a BIPOC character. But that's only for the PS4, and they had to collaborate with Sony to make that possible.
Oh, obviously you know your stuff then.
Oh yeah, I read, I study, I save that history for later.
So, that's another question is, are there any video game competitions that you're looking forward to?
Yes, right now I'm working with this deaf gaming organization to provide services to deaf people who are interested in hosting a tournament game. And so they'll provide services for that, such as streaming, advertising, marketing. So the goal is to expand access and make it equitable to hearing gaming tournament experience. So in the past, we couldn't participate because hearing people wouldn't give us the opportunity. Oh, you can't hear, we would be marginalized from the gaming community. So we're trying to find a way to go around those barriers. That's our goal, at least.
Yeah, I definitely see you as a leader and role model in that sense. You're really a big influence for people. And I remember you're also talking about your mother, who was another role model. But anyone else who you would say was a role model for you growing up?
Yes, independent. Um, Mom was married, but independent, divorced, had two kids, my brother and I. She raised us as a single mother because she did everything herself. She was motivated, ready to do whatever it took. And I looked up to her and I said, I want to be the same. I want to grow up to be independent. And my mom would ask me, do you need me to come with you and interpret for you? And I would say, no, I got it. I can do this. I can write back and forth. I can interact with them and make communication work.
Wow, so you seem like you're a really smart, intelligent person.
I get it from my mama. My mama pushed me.
Yes, yes. The power of a mother's love.
Definitely.
And so, okay, now I'm going to put your wisdom to a test. We're going to play a little game here. And this
Okay.
game is called Name These People.
I'm ready. I'm a gamer now. I'm a
Are you
gamer.
ready? Are you ready?
I have to win.
So there's two different ways that you can name these folks. You can give their actual name, or you can let me know what they do. Maybe they're a firefighter, a lawyer, um, maybe you don't even know where they're from. So I'll first give a visual description of the person. So go ahead and start now. So we have a picture of an African American male appears in his gray pullback locks and a gray black beard. He wears a silver diamond earring on his left ear, a long sleeve black blouse, dark blue jeans, and he sits on a brown stool crossing his arms on one left knee looking at the camera and smiles happily. Who's this?
Oh, this is very well known. It's Wawa.
Yes, Warren Wawa Snipe. No, he's an actor, he's a writer, he's a rapper. He's also a really good actor, by the way. Let me brag on that. So he's an amazing actor. Um, he's just all around an amazing person. Good job. Now here's a picture of an African American female appears in her shoulder length brown flip hairstyle. She wears a non-sleeve pink Nike dress with 4 gold medals that hold blue, green, and orange and red ribbons. She puts her hands on her hips and looking at the camera and smiles happily. Who is this?
This is too easy. I'm a basketball fan. This is Lisa Leslie. And she's well known as the first woman uh,
Dunk competition
in a
winner.
game.
I'm sure seeing a woman, doing a dunk, that's definitely a game changer.
Oh yeah.
And so she's from Compton, California. She's a former professional basketball player. She's a coach for triplets in the Big Three Professionals Basketball League. She's a teacher involved in shows like The Game and a few others. Next picture is of an African American male appears in his black low-cut hair. He wears a black goatee, a black collar, red shirt with a logo of Falcon, and a mini microphone in the middle of it. In the middle of his open collar, he looks at a camera and smiles. Who's this?
I have to be honest. I don't know much about football.
Well, so you think he's a football player?
I think that's a football player. I think so.
You're right. This is Derek Coleman Jr. Oh, I think we a spelling error here. But he's native of West Los Angeles, California, and a former American football fullback. He was signed as an undrafted free agent in Minnesota Vikings since 2012. All right. Also, I let my sister know, like, hey, you wrote down the wrong name here. We need to fix that. All right. All right. Next person. A picture of an African American female appears in her long, full, black, thick, swept up, curly, one side hairstyle. She wears a soft pink coloring mat on her lips, a light peach sweater jacket with a gray top that has white letters and some numbers on the front. She looks at the camera and grins. Who is this?
Oh, the name. But that face, I want to say she's an actor. She's an actress, but I can't think of the name.
Dude, is she hearing or deaf?
I'm going to guess hearing.
Are you saying hearing actor? This is Natasha
Yeah.
Ophelia. She's a deaf actor, native of Hyattsville, Maryland. She a writer for Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Oh, that video was super popular. It was a video game and then it finally got released to the public.
Yeah, especially to see a black deaf character in it. So hopefully I can meet her one day.
I would like to meet her.
Yeah, really good. So pictures of African American male appears in his bald, hairless, and thin trimmed black mustache. He wears a blue suit jacket with white collars and beige red tie. He looks at the camera and smiles happily. Who's this?
This is Air Jordan, Michael Jordan.
So everyone should know Michael Jordan. He's a hearing native of Brooklyn to New York, a former Chicago Bulls player. And funny story, I remember when Jordan and Michael Jordan both came up in conversation, I thought those were two different people. Was that same for you?
I was the same way.
Do you know why it's called Air Jordan?
Because he's a beast at dunking. It's like he's flying through the air.
Right. Next photo is a picture of an African American female appears in her long honey blonde braids with black shaved side hairstyle. She wears some light makeup and a silver triangle earring and a black shirt neck turtle. Who's this?
That's so Raven.
Yes. So this is Raven Simone Pierman Madej. And who is she specifically though? She's an actress, songwriter, singer. A lot of you should know her from the TV show That's So Raven. And currently a co-host on The View, I believe. Or she was a former co-host on The View.
Yep, she was.
A lot of people also know her from her younger years as being an actress on The Cosby Show as well.
Yep, when she was a little girl.
Next photo is of an African American male appears in his short, low blonde haircut. He has a thin trim black goatee, a pair of white diamond earrings, a black jacket, and a white collar shirt, and a blue gold bow. He looks at the camera humbly. Who's this?
Aaron Longlist?
Loggins? Yep. How do you know him?
From Gallaudet's?
So he's also deaf actor. He's a part of a fraternity. Um, he also interpreted for Gladys Knight at Super Bowl in 2019. He also is known for uh, Deaf King. Next
Hmm.
picture is African American female appears in her long black braids with a bun on top. She wears small silver earrings and suit jacket. Who's this?
I think it's Tamika. Yes.
I didn't know, but yes, okay.
She's a basketball player.
So she's a deaf basketball player. That I did not know. In WNBA. Okay, okay. She's also was in the U.S. Women's Olympic team. So this is Tamika Catchings. This is the last one. African American male appears in his long black wavy locks and a black thick stubble goatee, wears a brown rolled up short sleeve shirt, gold chain, short necklace, and gold bracelet in the left hand wrist. Leans over on a chair. Who's
I
this?
have no idea.
He's also part of the same generation as Wawa.
Oh, really?
His name is Fred Beam. He's a deaf native or deaf person, also responsible for a dance company called the Wild Zappers, which is where I know him from. Um, which is an amazing dance troupe that traveled all around the world. But now he teaches at NTID and runs the group Sunshine 2.0. But just all around amazing person. And as I said, really close friends with Wawa.
Cool.
Wow, you know your stuff.
I know a few people, and some I didn't know. It was a learning experience for sure.
Well, you got most of them. But no, definitely seem like a cool person and you know the community well. So our time is almost up. I'm gonna let some of our audience ask you some questions now. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's hit it.
All right. So now for the audience, please use the chat box now at this time to send any questions that you might have for Erin.
Okay, I saw that comment.
One question here is, where do you get the colored PS4s?
Oh, so you can buy like the normal black color, and then you can buy skins for the PS4, and you can replace them anytime you want with different colors. You can order them offline.
Have you ever tried
No, I haven't.
rubber?
I haven't tried it.
Rubbers?
It's a little bit different because you have to put the glasses on to be in the VR world, and it kind of disorients you, like when you're moving around and watching everything through the glasses. But I heard it was fun. I'm open to trying it.
Do you offer mentoring and education and gaming in a deaf community?
Really, no one has ever asked me, so I've never thought about it. Having mentor and educating about gaming, I think I would be happy to do that one day.
How often do they come out with new systems now?
Let's see, probably every 7 years. Yep, about every 7 years.
Oh, that's better than the iPhone. You get one about every few months or so, it seems like.
Every year.
And it's a complete new system all the time. Because you can have a game that doesn't fit a certain game system, right?
Yeah. So like now they're digital games, and those are a lot easier with compatibility.
As what is the most challenging thing about buying game systems?
Well, right now the PS5 and the new Xbox Series, those two are sold out. For almost 2 years now, they've been sold out because they're so popular and they're hot on the market. So it's hard to find. You have to wait until one is available or restocked, and then you have to like buy it right away before they run out again. Yes,
The vibrating controllers.
yes, vibration all the time.
So I used to play Mario Kart and Zelda. Do you play these?
Yes, Mario Kart. I like to put that to the side and like play more of the car games. I want to be first, right? I always want to be first. So I used to play that with the Nintendo Switch.
Do you have a chair that vibrates or something like that?
No, just my controller.
There are some chairs that do vibrate, so definitely recommend that.
I heard that there's like a vest you can put on to feel vibrations while you're playing games, but I don't know how I feel about that. Because if I'm trying to focus and all of a sudden my body starts shaking, it'd be odd.
I see some other questions, but they're not coming up on screen. All right, so I guess we're almost done with questions for Erin. Anything else? It seems people have already asked. Have you tried the Drop Lab shoes?
Nope, I haven't tried them yet.
I think I have them. They're close to my computer, but they're really good for music. I would strongly recommend them.
Do you like them?
Yeah, with music, with gaming, even while running, you can feel it too.
I should try that. I should try that. Thank you for the recommendation.
So I want to ask, what's next for you?
Mm, I want to try to wait. You want me to answer this question or let's see what's next for me? I want people to have the opportunity to know deaf gamers and to improve games to become more accessible for deaf gamers. So that's my next plan. Was my favorite game Rainbow Six. I've been playing that since 2015. So about 7 years, almost 7 years now.
Have they changed the characters or anything?
Yeah, they're always adding new characters. So they have groups for defense and they have groups for attack. So if you like win 3 times, then you can switch groups and decide either to be defense, attack, um, and both have different characters. But it's really cool and fun.
So when you're playing games, you like your the lights on or you like them off? I see you have some lights in the background there.
Oh yeah, I like to switch it up. Sometimes I like it dark, so I can focus better. And also when I'm streaming live and playing online, I like to switch up my lights too. Nice to meet you too. Oh, I don't have the PS4 here with me, but mine is black. That's one of my favorite colors.
So we have a question here. What do you see yourself in next 2 years with your game designer setup?
So I'm building a PC and I want to increase the technology with that. So maybe I'll make a vlog about that process one day.
So I want to just again say how amazing Erin is. Definitely somebody to go ahead and follow. So you can follow her on Facebook at DM3 lowercase x number 8, and on Instagram at just_DM3 all lowercase. And so that would be a great way to follow her and see what she's doing, to ask more questions. Also, you can follow her on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/just_DM3.
Yes, I hope to meet y'all out there. And if you have any questions about gaming, send them my way.
Yeah, I definitely plan on following you and plan to be amazed at what you do, because I know how good you are.
Listen, my mama said the same thing about the violence.
Yeah, so there's just many things that I can say before you leave, but what is some final thoughts you like to leave with the community? It could be whatever you want. Does that have to be on today's topic? But whatever you like to say, you can take your time.
I want to just say thank you for inviting me here and being able to show and explain my life from the perspective of a real deaf gamer. And challenge is not always a bad thing, right? I grew up knowing that games were for boys and feeling that only boys could play it, but also being a girl and knowing that I really wanted to be involved in that. And so encouraging other girls to play too, continue to grow in gaming.
Thank you for sharing that. That was really important to mention. And yeah, so thank you all so much for coming to Deaf Woke and allowing, and also you, Aaron, for opening up and sharing about yourself as a deaf video gamer.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna do a little dance for you right now.
Hey.
So again, love you all. See you all later.
Bye. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna go off. Bye.
And wow, that's Erin for you all. It's really amazing, right? Just full of energy, light, and yeah, she's a video gamer. So go ahead, and play video games. Don't just think of it as something that's for younger kids or for younger people. But see, Erin was talking about some of the real benefits that video games has on your brain and the ability to to help stimulate your body, stimulate body movement. If you're experiencing memory loss as you get older, video games has the ability to help fight against that. And usually, even when it comes to art, as she mentioned, art creates more diversity, and that also allows for connection when it comes to the game. Um, so, if anyone here is feeling anxiety, um, and probably in any negative spaces or whatnot, you playing video game gives you that ability, to feel the energy, feel connect with people, and to just solve some of those issues you're having. So feel more involved and more connected in the world. So if there's no diversity involved, then why is it? What other things are important is to remember to have access. As she was talking about, having those visual signals to help them navigate the game and make it more fair and equal for everyone else. Feeling the vibrations, seeing the captions. So having all of that is access and access way to the game, and it makes it more fair and equitable for everyone else, and it allows for everyone to be involved as well. So that's my final thoughts for tonight. And now, go ahead, as we mentioned, follow Erin. And so, final thank you. I want to say thank you to Erin. Thank you to our two interpreters. I know that we were signing for quite a long time and signing a lot, but also thank you to the crowd and the audience. Thank you, HowlRound. Thank you, Drop Lab. Thank you, GFT. And of course, thank you for watching. And thank you as well for folks who are volunteering helping make all this happen. And again, as mentioned, thank the interpreters. So you all can continue to donate and keep using hashtag DeafFolk. So yeah, let's keep it going. All right. Where are the hearts and likes? Come on now. Where are the hearts and likes? Yep, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. All right. Remember, this is Black History Month, but we're here in Black 365 days a year, and I'm loving it. So, okay. Until next time, continue loving each other. Peace, love, and we're out. Oh, I'm turning music on for y'all. Are you ready? I need to have the music. All right.